Preparing to stream. So this time you should see something different when you, It's coming. Okay, no, it says I'm offline, but this is where it gets all kind of hinky and crazy. This is too funny for me. I can barely stand it. I mean, how am I offline? Join the Zoom meeting. Let me go back to the Zoom and see what it says. We're live on YouTube. You should be able to see it. Now I got to pull up this PowerPoint. Share my screen.
Yeah, I see you.
You do? Okay, I'm sharing. I've shared my screen. Do you see it?
I see you. You only see the screen on Zoom.
Okay, how do I get that on YouTube? That doesn't make sense to me.
There's 8th grade academy.
And you don't, do you see the first sheet?
So here it is. Bam.
I got it. Okay, okay, so we're ready to go. Okay. Ms. Reese, do you want to start? And I'll change the slide or do whatever I need to do.
That worked.
Okay.
You ready?
You know, I'm as ready as I'll ever be trying to change these slides. We'll see. I got 87 screens up right now and I can't. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Hollis Innovation Academy 8th grade parents and students. Welcome to our 8th grade meeting for the 2023 school year. This meeting will be brief in hopes to answer several questions you may have posed this school year regarding your 8th grade scholar here at Hollis. And we're going to go ahead and get the meeting started with our grade level introductions. After our grade level introductions, we will follow the meeting agenda as printed. We have Ms. Barbara Shea, our assistant principal at the moment, Ms. Brantley, social studies, Ms. Flowers, math, Mr. Leonard, science, Mrs. Reese, language arts, 8th grade level chair, Mrs. Green, ELA gifted and talent development, Ms. Wilcox and Mr. Torres, DSC resource and co-talk, and lastly, our 8th grade assistant, Ms. Blake.
Good afternoon, parents. My name is Barbara Shea, and I am the 8th grade, the middle school assistant principal here at Hollis, filling in for Dr. Myrick, who is out on sick leave. And I have been in the district for many, many years, and I have totally enjoyed, I am enjoying my time here at Hollis. We wanted to meet today because we had several concerns, and one is that we have a really, really bright group of 8th graders. Students who really perform well, but we're struggling with some things, mostly social behaviors that are kind of interfering with getting the job done. So we thought if we went through some of our expectations with you and things we needed from the kids, we could get some support from home. So that's kind of where we are. We want to make this a positive meeting. We want things to be clearly understood. And we're hoping that by sharing these things with you, you can help us help your students.
So at this time, we're going to go right into the agenda, and the parent handbook that you are about to see, you should have received in the form of a QR code. It just goes over. Ms. Shea, can you click on that link? And hopefully it opens up. You may have to, Lord Jesus. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to take a look at the parent handbook for the 8th grade school year. It just goes into the expectations for the students here at Hollis. Ms. Shea, click on from Kurt. There you go.
Thank you, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, you want me to go back? Because I obviously clicked on something.
Ye-
OMG, what is happening? I need Miss Williams over here to fix this. Okay, okay, let's go. Let me go from beginning, no, from beginning. Sorry, okay, now we're ready again. Thank God you're here. Okay. I don't think I can click on this. Is that right?
Yes, we were trying to do the parent handbook. I don't know if that's gonna work though.
Oh, no, it won't. I have to cut and paste it and I don't have,
Okay, well, we'll start with the uniform policy.
yeah, that's one back. But
That
now I
works.
did the, is that working? Right click, oh, previous. God, you're so good. Don't ever put me in charge of this again. Okay, go
There
ahead.
you are. So parents, uniform and dress code is encouraged and expected Monday through Friday, unless we are having a spirit week or an opportunity where students can dress down or otherwise, but you will be notified in the event that happens. On the screen, you will notice the uniform for Hollis Innovation Academy. We have collared tops, either navy blue, white, or hunter, or dark green, and blue or khaki bottoms. Also for the young ladies, there is an alternative romper.
Oh, wait.
Here is a big topic that has all of the students here at Hollis in an uproar this year, and it is our new cell phone policy. All cell phones will be collected and locked up by the homeroom teacher upon arrival to the classroom and is returned to the student prior to dismissal each day. Unless otherwise directed by school administration or staff, the use of mobile telephones or devices is prohibited for all students at all times during the instructional day. The instructional day includes, but is not limited to, lunch, class changes, study halls, and any other structured or unstructured instructional activity that occurs during the normal school day. Devices must be out of sight and turned off. This prohibition includes all emergency situations, unless the student is directed to use a mobile device by an APS employee or other official, or unless an extreme threat to the health or safety of a student arises and no APS employee or other official is present. Any staff member can confiscate a student's mobile device that is in violation of this policy. If a student refuses to relinquish a phone or other device to a staff member, that staff member may refer the student to the principal or designee that is in charge. Parents, we are having a battle with your child or some of your children and the cell phones. We will greatly appreciate your support in making sure that they are following this policy. It is very difficult for us to focus throughout the day when we have to constantly redirect students that are on cell phones. So we just appreciate your assistance with speaking to your student at home so that we don't run into any more roadblocks as it pertains to their education. Smartwatches are included in those devices as well. Now on to the attendance policy. You should have also received the attendance policy in the form of a QR code the first week of school or possibly at open house. I'm not going to go through and read the entire policy. However, we do want to highlight a few items on the policy. One of them being, we start breakfast each day promptly at 7:15. Students enter the building and they are encouraged to pick up a breakfast and go directly to homeroom. Students will be marked tardy after 7:45. So if they come in the building, you're dropping them off or they're getting off the bus at 7:20 and decide to walk the halls and not make it to class until 7:45, then they will be marked tardy. Once they walk into the building tardy, they are required to retrieve a hall pass from the front office in order to, or tardy pass rather, from the front office in order to report to class. and be accepted. Check in and check out. In order to check in or check out your student or anybody that arrives after 8 a.m., you have to get out and come and check them in. And then after, only a parent or guardian that is designated in Infinite Campus would be able to pick up a student. There are consequences for consistent tardies at the very end of this document. Again, this is only 2 of the sheets, but please ensure that in the event that your child is tardy, you don't just send them in, but you come and sign them in. Check out. Only a parent or guardian that is authorized may check out a student. Authorized person should be documented on the student information sheet that is on file in Infinite Campus in the Hollis main office. Persons who are not listed will not be able to pick up your child. Whenever a student is released early, please make sure you send a written note with your child stating reason and time for early dismissal. I'm going to jot down to the last bullet. Persons checking out a student must present a valid ID in the main office. Please ensure that when you are dropping off items for student, that they must be brought to the main office, and then the student will be called to the office to retrieve the item as soon as possible. We appreciate your support in ensuring that your child is here on time every day. However, we know that life happens. So in the event that they are tardy, please, please, please make sure you don't just drop them off, but make sure you come in and sign them in. And this happens a lot with the older students. They just come in on their own, but please make sure so that we can know that they've been safe. Lastly, if your child is absent, please make sure you send them with a note. Students returning from an absent must bring their documentation to the homeroom teacher within 3 days. Students without documentation's absence will be logged as unexcused until proper documentation is received, and then absences meeting criteria will be coded excused. We will not, go ahead, Ms. Okay, this attendance flow chart just breaks down what I actually just said for the most part. Also, lastly, we have an influx of phone calls that oftentimes take place directly close to dismissal. So if you need to reach your child, please make sure you do so by 1:30. The attendance flow chart that you now see on the screen breaks down days absent and the actions. Please, please, please ensure that you follow this attendance flow chart so that we don't have to do anything that would be not beneficial for our students here at Hollis as far as their education is concerned. Athletes and after-school all-stars. We have a wonderful, wonderful lineup of sports here playing for our 8th graders at Hollis. For instance, we have football that's just starting up. We have softball that has a game today, actually. We have cheer, basketball, track, flag football, baseball, and then we also have something called After School All-Stars. This is an after-school program where your student, if they stay for sports, will be able to be provided a snack as well as a meal prior to going home. This program is ran by Mrs. Simpson through Georgia State University, and it does not start up until September 5th. Please listen out for or look out for a form so that you can sign your student up for After School All-Stars. Oh, and Coach Sanford is the athletic director.
And please remember that no student.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No student can play a sport, go to practice, do anything like that without their physical. And that's been a problem.
I think they actually have to sign up for After School All-Stars as
I'm
well.
I'm talking about sports with football.
Oh, okay, yes.
We've had a problem with kids trying to come out, but they don't have what they need to do it. So just remember that if they come home with a physical form, please sign it so that they can come in here and get a physical or go to their doctor and get a physical.
Thank you, Ms. Shea. Also, the After School All-Stars program is a free program sponsored by Georgia State University. So this is where Ms. Shea is going to interject, and then we're going to go over the behavior matrix. She's just going to share with you a few concerns that we've had regarding 8th grade this school year.
Right. And honestly, some of my history is 15 years as an 8th grade assistant principal. And it's a tough year because the kids are still middle schoolers, but they think they're ready for high school and they don't have the behaviors we need to see to ensure that they are in fact ready for high school. So some of the things we've seen this year are just a level of immaturity that is problematic because they play, if we change classes and they see friends, it's 5 extra minutes of us trying to put them where they belong. We're trying to get everybody to a point where they can do things as independently as possible. We understand first semester, we're going to walk them wherever they need to go so they understand how it works. But our goal, because we know they're leaving us next year, is to back off, and give them some level of autonomy to get to class and do the things they need to do. We haven't seen a lot of that. We've seen a lot of playing. We've seen a lot of horse playing. We've had experienced lots of talking and, for lack of a better word, some back talk to teachers that kids think we're going to go back and forth with them. We're not going to go back and forth with them, because if we say what we need, we're saying it for the good of the group. And it's not always open to a negotiation. And we have lots of students that would be very good debaters because they think that if I give a direction, they get to ask me why, and I'll say for the betterment of everyone. They'll ask me, what are you talking about? And we don't have time for that. So we're just asking that our students, because in high school, nobody plays, nobody plays with them. In middle school, we give makeup work. We do everything we can do to help children go to high school. But once they get to high school, as many parents know who've had high school students and have been in high school, everything is based on credits. And all those opportunities don't exist anymore. So our focus is to get them to be serious about the work, serious about finishing, and serious about moving on. And we figured if we talk to you now in August, after almost 4 weeks of school, we could get some support and things could get better faster. We understand better than anyone that we have kids that were sitting out of school for 18 months during COVID, naturally have some social delays, academic delays, and that's all the more reason why we need to hit the ground running this year. So if you could help us help your children dress appropriately for school every day. If they don't have access to a uniform at this point, they just need to be covered appropriately. And they know exactly what that means because we spent the whole first week of school reviewing what that means. I don't want to suspend children. I don't want to suspend children, but I will not let children steal instruction from other kids. And so if we could just all work together, we would all have a better day. We have some bright 8th graders. They did well last year in 7th. And we know they had a lot of, for lack of a better word, upheaval in instruction last year because I think there were some teachers that left. They had a series of subs. We get that. But this year they have 4 beautiful permanent teachers, 2 special ed teachers that are in rooms with the students that need that. They have everything they need to be successful. And we're just asking that you support us in the area of behavior and getting to school on time and dressing appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shea. I also want to add to speak with your students regarding the use of profanity. We have seen
Go ahead.
We have seen a lot of profanity being displayed loosely, and it's to the level of disrespect that we won't be able to tolerate. We are also concerned about, you've mentioned already the horse playing, but for lack of a better word, just the foolery that's going on with a lot of the 8th graders, keeping up the drama on the social media, which taking up the phones have curtailed a lot of that, but we can't control what goes on when they leave. But it comes back to school and we end up having to mediate, and it's become a problem because it takes away class time. We're already trying to get them ready for high school, which we know they'll be ready, but we just appreciate your support at home and reiterating that the goal here is for them to come to school to get their education. Also, as eighth graders here at Hollis, they are the seniors in the building, so they are expected to behave a certain way. And with that being said, they are also exposed to a lot of different opportunities that the students in the lower grades are not exposed to. So at any given time, we may be asked to send a group of eighth graders somewhere one day. And they have to have on uniform. They have to have been in attendance to class. They have to be following the code of conduct for Hollis as well as for Atlanta Public Schools. So we have what is called a behavior matrix for participation. A lot of students don't agree with this matrix. However, it works. They must follow the rules of the student handbook in order to participate in extracurricular activities or events. They must not have any suspensions, that is ISS as well as OSS, for the semester and or the remainder of the year if we are into second semester. They should wear uniforms daily, and they should attend class every day on time and not be insubordinate, which I know Ms. Shea just kind of mentioned quite a few of the things that we were speaking of when it refers to being insubordinate. So with that being said, if we have any Q&A, any questions, we'll be more than happy to answer them. You can reach out to the school, reach out to the teachers personally, or you can leave a question or message in the chat, and we'll be more than happy to get your questions answered. If I did not miss anything, teachers, I think this just about wraps it up for us.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate that you taking the time, and we will post this on our website or a link to the YouTube channel on the Hollis website. And we probably will send a reminder out to ask people to look at it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email us, call the school. That you can call us at 404-8200, and just, you can ask for me, Mrs. Shea, or Ms. Williams, the middle school counselor, and we will address your questions as they come in. Thank you, teachers, for staying. You are totally appreciated by me, and we look forward to moving on from here in a really positive way.